the lights went out. The crowd held their breath. And when they came back on, a career lay shattered in the middle of that ring. What you're about to witness isn't just another wrestling match, it's the moment everything changed. This is the night the wrestling world stood still, the night a legend fell, and the night we all realized that nobody, and I mean nobody, is untouchable in this business. Stick with me until the end because what happened after the final bell rang will shake you to your core. Before we dive into this chaos, I need you to do something for me. If you love this business the way I do, if you feel that fire in your chest every time the bell rings, then please, hit that subscribe button right now. Join the SLAMZONE family. We're building something special here, a community of wrestling fans who live and breathe this sport. Smash that like button, drop a comment telling me your thoughts, and hit that notification bell because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. We're in this together, and every single one of you matters to this channel. Now, let me take you back to that night. The air was electric. You could cut the tension with a knife. The crowd was on their feet before the first move was even thrown because they knew, deep down, they were about to witness something extraordinary. The arena was packed, thousands of voices merging into one deafening roar, and in the center of it all stood two warriors ready to write their names in history. Bron walked down that ramp with purpose. Every step echoed through the arena like a war drum. This wasn't just another match for him. This was personal. This was his moment to prove that all the blood, all the sweat, all those years of sacrifice meant something. You could see it in his eyes, that burning determination, that hunger that separates the good from the legendary. The crowd erupted as his music hit, signs waving in the air, fans screaming his name until their voices cracked. But here's the thing about reaching the top, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. And nobody knew that better than the man standing across from him. His opponent wasn't just there to compete, he was there to destroy. He was there to send a message that would echo through the locker room for years to come. The stare down between these two giants felt like it lasted forever. Time seemed to freeze as they locked eyes, neither willing to blink first, neither willing to show even a hint of weakness. The bell rang, and the place absolutely exploded. They circled each other like predators, calculating, measuring, waiting for that perfect opening. The first collar and elbow tie-up was brutal. You could hear the impact of their bodies colliding, the grunt of exertion, the strain in every muscle. Neither man gave an inch. It was pure strength against pure will. Then it happened. The first major strike. A thunderous forearm that echoed through the arena like a gunshot. Bron Breaker's head snapped back, but he didn't fall. He stood there, absorbing the impact, and you could see something change in his expression. The pain transformed into fury. He fired back with a chop so vicious that the crack made people in the front row wince. The opponent's chest turned bright red instantly, a mark that told the story of pure violence. The pace quickened. Back and forth they went, neither willing to give the other a moment to breathe. Irish whip into the ropes, Bron Breaker rebounds, ducking under a clothesline, hitting the opposite ropes, and boom, a flying shoulder tackle that sent his opponent crashing to the mat. The crowd was losing their minds. Every move was met with a wave of noise that felt like it could lift the roof off the building. But this is where things started to shift. As Bron Breaker pulled his opponent up, you could see the calculation in the other man's eyes. He was waiting, biding his time, and then in a flash of movement so quick the cameras almost missed it, he reversed the momentum. A quick thumb to the eye, barely visible to the referee, just enough to create that split-second advantage. Bron Breaker stumbled back, his hands instinctively going to his face, and that was all the opening his opponent needed. What came next was systematic destruction. A DDT that spiked Bron Breaker's head into the canvas with sickening force. The thud resonated through the entire arena. People gasped. Some turned away. Others leaned forward, unable to look away from the carnage unfolding before them. The opponent didn't go for the pin. No, this wasn't about winning quickly. This was about making a statement. He dragged Bron Breaker to the corner, positioning him against the turnbuckles. The crowd knew what was coming. You could feel the dread building as he backed up, measuring the distance. Then he charged, full speed, his boot aimed directly at Bron Breaker's skull. But somehow, Bron Breaker moved. Pure survival instinct kicked in, and he rolled out of the way at the last possible second. The boot connected with nothing but steel post, and the opponent screamed in pain, clutching his leg. This was Bron Breaker's chance. This was the moment to turn it all around. He pulled himself up using the ropes, his body clearly battered, his breath coming in ragged gasps, but that fire in his eyes burned brighter than ever. The crowd rallied behind him, chanting his name, willing him to dig deep and find that extra gear. And he did. Adrenaline took over. Bron Breaker unleashed a fury of strikes, each one landing with precision and power. Lefts and rights, elbows and knees, a relentless assault that backed his opponent into the corner. The referee had to check if the match should continue, but the opponent waved him off, too proud to quit, too stubborn to surrender. Big mistake. Bron Breaker pulled him out of the corner, hooked the arms, and you could feel the entire arena rise to their feet in anticipation. This was it. His signature move. the one that had put away countless opponents before. He lifted, twisted, and drove his opponent down with devastating force. The ring shook from the impact. Bron Breakker hooked the leg, the referee slid into position, 1, 2, and the opponent kicked out just before 3. The crowd couldn't believe it. Bron Breakker couldn't believe it. How do you put away someone with that kind of heart? Halfway through this incredible battle, and I have to pause for just a second because if you're feeling what I'm feeling right now, if your heart is racing and you're sitting on the edge of your seat, then please, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. Subscribe to SLAMZONE if you haven't already. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know because this is the content we're bringing you every single week. Real passion, real breakdowns, real emotion. Ring that notification bell and become part of this amazing family we're building together. Back to the action, and both men were running on fumes. Every movement was slower now, more deliberate, but somehow that made it even more intense. You could see the toll this match was taking. Bruises were forming, sweat poured down their faces, and still, neither would quit. Bron Breakker attempted another big move, getting his opponent up on his shoulders, but his legs buckled. The damage was too much. His opponent slipped down behind him and immediately locked in a sleeper hold, wrapping his arms around Bron Breakker's neck like a python. The referee checked Bron Breakker's arm. It dropped once. The crowd gasped. He checked again. It dropped twice. People were standing now, screaming for Bron Breakker to fight, to hold on, to find a way out. The referee lifted his arm a third time, and just as it started to fall, Bron Breakker's fist clenched. The place erupted. He wasn't done. He wasn't finished. With everything he had left, he fought to his feet, the opponent still clinging to his back, still trying to choke him out. Bron Breakker backed up into the corner, crushing his opponent against the turnbuckles. Once, twice, 3 times until the grip loosened. He spun around, grabbed his opponent, and delivered a desperation suplex that planted both of them on the mat. Neither man moved. The referee started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. The crowd was chanting, pleading for their hero to get up. At 8, Bron Breakker stirred. At 9, he got to his knees. The count stopped, but barely. What happened next will haunt me forever. Bron Breakker, digging into reserves of strength nobody knew he had, pulled his opponent up one more time. He positioned him perfectly, the crowd on their feet, cameras flashing like lightning throughout the arena. He lifted him high, holding him there for what felt like an eternity, every muscle in his body screaming, and then brought him down with the most devastating finisher I've ever seen. The impact was seismic. The opponent's body went limp on impact. Bron Breakker collapsed on top of him for the cover. 1, 2, 3. The bell rang. It was over. But the celebration was short-lived. As Bron Breakker tried to stand, his opponent didn't move. Medical staff rushed the ring immediately. The crowd's cheers turned to concerned murmurs. We all watched as they carefully checked on him, calling for more help. Bron Breakker stood in the corner, his own body battered, but the look on his face was pure anguish. This wasn't how it was supposed to end. Victory felt hollow when you realized the cost. The stretcher came out. The arena fell silent. 20,000 people watching in stunned disbelief as a warrior was carefully lifted and carried away. The reports that came later confirmed everyone's worst fears. Career-altering injury. Months of recovery ahead, possibly years. Some are saying he may never wrestle again. Bron Breakker gave everything in that match, but at what price? This is the reality of this business we love. Every time they step through those ropes, they're risking everything. Now, about Roman Reigns. The tribal chief has been watching all of this unfold, and according to sources close to the situation, he's got his eyes locked on what's next. The landscape is changing. New threats are emerging. Old scores need settling. Roman's reign at the top has been legendary, but the wolves are circling, and after what we just witnessed with Bron Breakker, everyone knows that nobody's position is guaranteed. Roman's update? He's ready. He's focused. And he's coming for anyone who dares step up. The wrestling world is evolving right before our eyes. What happened to Bron Breakker's opponent serves as a brutal reminder that this business doesn't care about your plans, your dreams, or your legacy. One wrong move, one mistimed landing, and everything you've built can come crashing down in an instant. Before we close out, I need you to know how much I appreciate every single one of you watching right now. Please, if you found value in this breakdown, if you felt the emotion and intensity of what we just walked through together, hit that like button one more time. Subscribe to SLAMZONE if you haven't already, because we're just getting started. Share this video, comment below with your thoughts on what happened and what you think comes next for Bron Breakker and Roman Reigns. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of the action. This is what we do here at SLAMZONE. We don't just talk about wrestling, we live it, we breathe it, we feel every moment right along with these incredible athletes who put their bodies on the line for our entertainment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this journey. Until next time, keep watching, keep supporting, and remember that in this business, legends are made and broken in the blink of an eye.